The eroded tombstones of the old cemetery loomed like silent keepers, whispering tales of the forgotten. Legends whirled around the place, stories of restless spirits and cursed grounds. As a child, I mocked such tales. But that was before the night I dared to enter. It was a moonless night, the air thick with a gooey sweetness. The only sound was the rustle of unseen things in the darkness. Driven by a ghastly curiosity, I pushed past the creaking iron gates, a shiver crawling down my spine. As I strolled among the collapsing stones, an unsettling feeling engulfed me. The shadows seemed to writhe and twist, and the silence felt heavy with unseen eyes. Then, a sound, a faint whispering, like leaves rustling on a restless wind. Panic clawed at my throat, but something held me rooted. And then I saw her, a cloaked figure, her face shrouded in darkness. Her eyes, however, glowed with an unnatural light. She reached out, her voice a haunting melody that sent shivers down my spine. "Turn back, child," she whispered, her voice filled with a deep sorrow. "This place holds only darkness." Terrified, I stumbled back, her warning echoing in my ears. I didn't stop running until I reached the safety of my own home, the feeling of unseen eyes lingering long after. Days bled into weeks, but the memory of that night clung to me like a shroud. The chilling voice and the woman's sorrowful face haunted my dreams. I tried to dismiss it all as a childish prank, but strange occurrences began to plague me. Objects moved on their own, and whispers filled the air whenever I was alone. Haunted by these events, I returned to the graveyard, a desperate need for answers distressing me. The iron gates groaned in protest as I entered, the sound a grim echo in the stillness. Drawn by an unseen force, I went deeper, until I stumbled upon an ancient tomb, its appearance eroded and worn. Trembling, I pushed open the massive doors, revealing a gaping trap of darkness within. A wave of stale air, thick with the smell of decay, assaulted me. Stepping inside, the silence pressed down like a heavy weight. Shadows danced on the walls, morphing into ugly shapes. Then, the voice. The same haunting melody that had invaded my dreams. The cloaked woman appeared, her eyes gleaming with an otherworldly light. "You have invaded on forbidden ground," she whispered, her voice laced with sorrow. "Now you face the consequences." Before I could react, the ground lurched beneath my feet. The walls of the tomb groaned and strained, then with a deafening roar, the earth gave way. I plunged into the abyss, a scream ripped from my throat lost in the deafening roar. I awoke to crushing darkness, a cold, damp world pressing down on me. This was no ordinary place, it was a realm of shadows and despair, where the forgotten souls wandered aimlessly. Fear nagged at my insides as I stumbled through the darkness. Whispers echoed from unseen corners, their message chillingly clear: I was not alone in this cursed place. A group of figures materialized before me, their eyes glowing with an eerie light. They reached out, their voices a haunting chorus that sent shivers down my spine. "One of us now," they whispered, their sorrow palpable. "Trapped here for eternity." Panic surged through me as I tried to flee, but the spectral figures surrounded me, their presence overwhelming. Then, with a deafening roar, the ground gave way beneath my feet once more, and I fell once more into the endless darkness. Time lost all meaning in the oppressive darkness. Days bled into weeks, weeks into months. Fear and despair became my constant companions. Everywhere I turned, I saw the faces of the lost, their expressions hollow and vacant. I searched desperately for an escape, but the cursed realm stretched on endlessly, its boundaries indistinguishable. Then, one day, a familiar figure emerged from the shadows, the cloaked woman. Her sorrow seemed even deeper now. "There is no escape," she whispered, her voice a hollow echo. "This is your fate now." Desperate, I pleaded for her help, but she only shook her head, her eyes filled with an unimaginable sadness. "There is no escape," she repeated, her voice fading as she vanished into the darkness. Years bled into decades, and the darkness took its toll. My sanity began to fray, the horrors I witnessed pushing me to the brink of madness. Yet, a flicker of resistance remained. I clung to the hope of escape, refusing to succumb to the despair that surrounded me. Then, one day, amidst the crushing blackness, I saw it, a faint light, a pinprick in the endless darkness. It ignited a spark of hope within me, a beacon in the storm of despair. With renewed purpose, I stumbled towards the light, my heart pounding with a desperate hope. The journey felt like an eternity, each step a battle against the oppressive darkness that threatened to consume me. Just when I thought I could bear it no more, the darkness parted, revealing a blinding light. Squinting, I stumbled forward, and gasped. I stood at the edge of the cursed realm, the familiar world bathed in the warm glow of the sun. Tears welled up in my eyes, a mixture of relief and terror. The memory of the horrors I witnessed would forever scar me. As I stepped out of the darkness and into the light, the cloaked woman materialized beside me. Her face, no longer shrouded, held a deep sadness. "You have escaped the darkness," she said, "but the darkness will never truly leave you." Her words struck a deep chord. The horrors I had witnessed would forever haunt my dreams, a constant reminder of the price I had paid for my trespass. "Why?" I croaked, my voice hoarse from disuse. "Why do the spirits remain trapped?" The woman looked at me with a sorrowful smile. "Some transgressions cannot be undone," she said. "The spirits are bound to this place by their regrets, their unfinished business." With a final, lingering glance, the woman turned and faded back into the darkness. I watched her go, a wave of sadness washing over me. I walked back into the world of the living, forever changed. The horrors I witnessed had etched themselves onto my soul. The whispers of the spirits echoed in my ears, a constant reminder of my brush with oblivion. I dedicated my life to helping others, to ensuring no one else suffered a similar fate. I shared my story, a cautionary tale of the dangers that lurked beyond the veil. Some scoffed, dismissing it as a madman's rant. But others listened, their eyes filled with a flicker of fear and respect. Perhaps, just perhaps, my ordeal would serve as a warning, a deterrent to those tempted by the darkness. Years passed, and my hair turned to silver. The memories of the cursed realm remained, a constant shadow cast upon my life. But I also carried the memory of the cloaked woman's sorrow, the weight of the spirit's unfinished business. On my deathbed, surrounded by loved ones, I felt a sense of peace I hadn't known in decades. As my vision began to fade, I saw the cloaked woman standing beside me, her eyes filled with gratitude. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice filled with a quiet joy. "You have helped ease their suffering." A single tear rolled down my cheek as I closed my eyes for the last time. The darkness no longer held fear, only the promise of a final rest, and the hope that I had brought some solace to the lost souls trapped in the cursed realm. The legend of the forbidden graveyard lived on, a chilling reminder of the consequences of invading on sacred ground. But it also carried a whisper of hope, a testament to the power of courage and compassion in the face of darkness.